You're locked in to the hottest station on the planet.
Resistance is futile. The revolution has begun.
You're listening to Rebelpreneur Radio, helping you break the rules and build the business you need for the life you want. And now, broadcasting his pirate signal
from somewhere beyond the status quo,
here's your host, best-selling author, marketing and media strategist, Ralph Brogden.
Hello and welcome to Rebelpreneur Radio. It's the show that helps you build the business you need so you can live the life you want. I'm Ralph Brogden. We talk about the power of your mind quite a bit here, and I'm amazed at just how powerful your mind is and how much your environment, your body, and even your business is affected by the power of your mind. Not just your mindset, but your thoughts, your emotions, the things, the way that you make connections in your mind. It either propels you forward to fulfill your personal and business vision, or more oftentimes than not, it holds you back and you're not really sure why. Today's guest is a fascinating person because she works in the area of transforming lives through the power of your mind. I am pleased to welcome Dr. Sonia Gupte to the show. She is an internationally known Board Certified Clinical Hypnotherapist and a hypnotherapy trainer with clients in over 20 countries. She's the founder and director of Enso-nia Center for Mind and Life Transformation, an organization dedicated to revolutionizing the field of human wellness through the integration of hypnotherapy into mainstream healthcare. And she's the author of the book Within: Finding Yourself, Fixing What's Broken, and Finally Reclaiming True Health. Dr. Gupte, welcome to Rebelpreneur Radio.
Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction, Ralph. It is a pleasure to be on the show once again.
Yes, it's a pleasure to have you on the show once again. It's been a while since we have spoken to you on the show. A lot has happened, and I can't wait to get caught up. But first, tell us a little bit, for those who didn't catch the first interview with you, which was a year and a half, 2 years ago, and a lot's happened in the world since then. But tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and who you help.
So to describe myself in a few sentences, I would say that I am a physician by training. And after spending 15 years in the field of mainstream medicine as a very passionate physician who absolutely loved doing what she was doing, certain things, life experiences, traumas, if you may call it, which, unknowingly sometimes make you pause, which make you reevaluate what you are doing and why you are doing. Some people call it midlife crisis. I don't know, but it happened to me as well. And that was around 7-8 years ago. And it made me pause. And I realized that I was not feeling satisfied writing prescriptions and perhaps just treating symptoms and never understanding what is the cause. These patients are coming to me with chronic ailments, and all I can do as a doctor was refilling prescriptions. So that sense of restlessness, that void was very strong within me. And that made me think, what if some key ingredient is missing in what I'm practicing? What if there is something which needs to be added to what I'm practicing? And it made me think and look outside the box. And I found hypnotherapy. And it was so amazing, so fascinating for a physician to sit in that class and to literally understand, perhaps first time in my life, that thoughts can contribute to a disease. I was like completely blown away in that class thinking, why the heck are we not taught this in medical school? How can such a significant component be excluded, and we consistently are taught how to fix the body, but we are completely not taught how to understand emotions of a human being, and can these emotions actually impact a disease? So all of that literally took me in a completely 360-degree review of my life, of my passion as a physician, and the physician started to transform. I wanted to know more. I wanted to understand more about the subconscious. What is it, and how is it impacting the body, the diseases, and why one person has this disease in the same family and the other person does not have it. Of course, there is a huge role of genetics, but still there is something else which is missing there. And from that journey, I started practicing and, adding this component of working on the subconscious mind with my patients who had chronic ailments. And amazing results started to come up. The burden of prescriptions was getting lesser and lesser. People were finding the relief, the ease in the body. And I would say every case which turned around, I would have literally, my jaw used to drop as a doctor. My goodness, I could have never done that, no matter how many medicines I wrote. So all of that turned into a passion. I started, continuing on that journey. And of course, I learned, became a trainer. And, the passion now is not only through sessions to showcase that reflection to people that the solution to your issue is within you, and to train them how to have that new neural pathway created in your mind so that your life can be what you dream of. And that has brought me to this, place where last year I entered into the project of writing the book. And now it is out there as my message, my presentation to the world that do not ignore the mind.
Yes. The name of the book is Within, as you were just alluding to. The answer is within. The name of your book is Within, Finding Yourself, Fixing What's Broken, and Finally Reclaiming True Health. It's published by Holland House Publishing, New York, and it's a #1 international bestseller. Congratulations on that accomplishment.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about the book, because I know you go into your story, but you also share the story of your patients, your clients who have achieved through hypnotherapy some amazing results. Tell us a little bit about the book itself.
So the thought of writing the book came in because, once again, the whole idea was chronic ailments. What can we do? What else can we do when it comes to chronic ailments? And to, see the data out there, almost 133 million Americans, which is, 45% of the population is suffering from some or the other chronic ailment. So when I started writing this book, this was the data. I wanted to focus on chronic ailments and what we can offer to shift the chronic ailment. After 2020, the burden is just massive. Now I feel perhaps in every household, there is someone who is suffering from some sort of chronic ailment. And as physicians, perhaps, many physicians are feeling like myself that prescriptions are not everything. So the book is literally showcasing that hypnotherapy is that next way forward where we can turn around the disease, the chronic disease, with minimal prescriptions. So in this book, I have shared stories of quite a few patients of mine who were going through chronic ailments for years and years, and mainstream medicine was unable to help them. They did so many things, and literally to a level where they had given up on themselves, on the world, and were somewhere, in depression because no one could help them. and how those cases got turned around when we took the dive within to understand the subconscious patterns, to understand what they were holding on to inside of them. And through those sessions, what was the stage we achieved when they finished those 5, 6, 7 sessions? What exactly were the results? So that is all showcased in the book, along with my own personal journey as a human, my own vulnerable moments as a doctor, my own successes and failures, which are very important to showcase, because somehow in society, in the world we live in, it is not always okay to talk about your emotions. But I feel the secret is in talking about emotions. Everything is inside of us. So that is what is in the book, that validation, that there is a component to fix things you're suffering from. The component is within you in the subconscious, and that is showcased through these cases, which are very broad category of chronic ailments we find, almost in every other household, like migraine or insomnia or IBS, smoking, all of these things. So taking a sort of a focused in approach, going into the story of this person who comes in with migraine. And as a physician, I am taking a completely different perspective, and I am diving with him into the subconscious to understand what exactly is it which is creating this ease from a subconscious perspective, and working on it and then seeing the results. So it's a fascinating read, I would say. Not that I have written it, that's why, but the stories are really, really, full of those human emotions which everyone can relate to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love how in the book you talk about disease as dis-ease, as a hyphenated word to indicate that there's some uneasiness emotionally, and you're saying that's what's triggering the physical manifestation of dis-ease. That's how it is showing up in the body. Give us an example of what you're talking about.
So an example would be, say, when you talk about the word dis-ease, it means that the body is feeling some sort of restlessness, dis-ease. So a very common example would be if you have gone through certain time periods in your life where you have been really stressed about a particular thing, or about, a project, or about even a relationship, you will realize that in those moments of stress, suddenly you feel that, today my head is really heavy. We always focus on the symptom in the body, but we don't realize that there is a thought component related to that, which is bringing this dis-ease to the body. So the thoughts in the subconscious, which get triggered on day-to-day basis, they generate an emotion. And emotion is nothing but energy in motion. And this energy is circulating through the body. So if we don't express, if we don't deal with it, this energy is getting dumped in the body. And when the body cannot take it anymore, it goes into the state of dis-ease. It will talk to you. That headache will happen. And people say, I am having a headache today. I never get a headache. So the moment you say that, I never get a headache, your body is trying to talk to you. It's telling you that there is something in your head, in your mind, which is like a corrupted file circulating and dumping the energy, which the body is not at ease with. So the book gives you a completely different direction to understand your body through the perspective of your mind. The body talks to us. And that is I would say, the easiest way I can describe how the dis-ease, and we keep ignoring, and voila, one fine day we go to the doctor's office and there is a label of, you have this. And you ask these patients, No, doctor, everything has been fine. No, tell me slowly and gradually. You must be getting some signs. Oh, yeah. Yes, I was getting some sort of, sleepless nights. Oh, yes, there was a bit of fatigue as well. Yeah, on and off, there was headache. So there were bleepers. The body was telling you something, but we keep on ignoring.
Whenever you talk about that, it always reminds me of something Woody Allen said, and he was trying to be funny, but it illustrates what you're talking about. He says, I don't get mad. I grow a tumor.
Oh, that is too good.
I think that really illustrates the mind-body connection, energy and motion, and that negative energy can really create havoc. So I think the way you explain it, it's so easy. It makes sense. But when people hear the word hypnosis or hypnotherapy, they might think about stage hypnosis or, people in Las Vegas doing like a magic show, people clucking like a chicken and other crazy things. And that's stage hypnosis, and that's for entertainment purposes. But what you're talking about is medicinal. It's clinical hypnotherapy. What is the difference other than just what I just described? But how would you explain to people the difference between what they've maybe seen on television or in a show versus what you do with people to change their lives on a daily basis?
So that's a good question, and I get this question many a times from people as well. And stage hypnosis, as you correctly said, is for entertainment purposes, where the impression with which the audience gets is that the control is taken over by this other person, and as the other person is telling the participant to cluck like the chicken, the person is clucking like a chicken. So it is showcased as mind control.
Is that really what's happening in stage hypnosis, or is it more? Is it finding someone who's really compliant, who wants to believe that they are not in control, and they just kind of go along with it? Is it a real thing?
Yes,
or is it really?
They're both the things. Absolutely. You cannot, it won't work on a person who is entering or stepping on the stage with a very clear mind. I'm not going to do what he says. It cannot work at all.
So mind control. Our minds are pretty strong.
Yes.
So mind control really, it doesn't exist. There's no way to control somebody's mind or brainwash someone. I mean, if that was
against your will, no.
Yes.
No, it cannot happen.
If that was the case, we could take someone, brainwash them of all of their negative experiences, reprogram them, and send them back into the world. And there's no participation at all on their part. Yes. They don't even know what happened. It's not that easy, is it?
No. And again, I think this is reminding me of a TED talk or something I saw where there was a stage hypnotist who invited quite a few people from the audience, and there were chairs, and they were sitting there, and he was giving those suggestions, and there were 2 or 3 people very clearly nothing was happening to them. Mm-hmm. And there were 6 others who were doing what the person was telling, which tells you exactly what we are saying, that no one can do anything without your will, even if it is stage hypnosis. But hypnotherapy, on the other side, is completely different, and it is gaining attention in the medical world as well, because hypnotherapy is doing therapy in the state of hypnosis. What exactly is hypnosis? Is the state where you have access to the subconscious mind, and that is the zone where your critical filter is sort of open, and you are in a very, way of understanding to focus on the issue, by understanding with the guidance of the therapist from where this issue has come up. And I say that, in your subconscious, imagine it is like your hard disk. You have stored in zillions and zillions of memories there. on your hard disk. And this hard disk, this zone is much more powerful than your logical thinking mind. That's why we sometimes keep on doing things repeatedly, which logically do not make sense. Many people say, I don't know what comes up, and I just do it. And they know that they do it. And then as if, literally the trance gets broken and now I regret. Why did I do it? So that file gets opened from the subconscious, which is much more stronger, much more powerful. It takes over. You do what you do. And now you come back in your conscious awareness. So we go through that almost on daily basis. So hypnotherapy is that modality where literally I become that navigator, that technician, which will take you back on your hard disk to find that corrupted file, to understand that corrupted file, to close that corrupted file, and to reboot your system. And now what you logically want, your subconscious is not against you, but it works with you. And that's why this therapy is so much more effective, so much more powerful than, any therapy which is done cognitively.
And you are there not to program or deprogram or reprogram someone, but you are there as someone to facilitate.
GPS. Yes, just a guide. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you're guiding, facilitating it, getting them into a place where all of those emotions and things that they have suppressed. For example, if you have if you had a negative relationship with your parents or with your mother or with your father, and you never dealt with it, and so in the process of your work, instead of doing what most people do, which is suppress it because it's too painful, you deal with it in a comfortable place, in a positive way. And then you're saying by fixing that corrupt file in our mind that is causing dis-ease, then the physical symptom begins to cure.
Absolutely. And a beautiful example of this to, again, make the understanding crystal clear is, as you spoke of, say, relationship with your parents. So someone has that, volatile, aggressive relationship, or it was there as a child, and now the person is not even with the parents anymore. And this is obviously, suppressed in the subconscious. Why would this person come for therapy? Say they have gone into a new work environment, and they somehow find that they are always having a tiff with the boss. There is friction which is coming in. And now, because of this constant friction, there are headaches. So this person says, well, I never had headaches, but recently I have been starting to get these migraine type headaches almost every other day. So this will be their presenting complaint when they come to a physician or when they come to me to understand what exactly is happening suddenly. Now, this is that wire, so the trigger, the boss, subconsciously represents the father, the authority who never listened to me as a child. And now I become a rebel and I have the friction. And now this friction is sabotaging my own career. So it's like, a cobweb, which is completely connected to the past, which you have suppressed. And now it is not only giving a dis-ease in the body, but it is sabotaging your growth as well.
Interesting. And the fascinating thing about this is it is subconscious. You might not even realize, and that's the whole problem. You don't realize the connections. You don't even understand you're being triggered by your boss because of your relationship with your father. Yes. And yet it's happening. And so it just takes someone to be the navigator, the facilitator, or the GPS, as you said, to help give them direction and context for what's happening. And when you explain it that way, it makes total sense.
Yeah. And I feel that's why, each dip we take into the subconscious literally brings out a better version of self, because I understand so many things about myself which were not there in my conscious awareness. So, there is the person comes in with a presenting issue, but what they take back home is huge awareness about their own behavior and finding the control on those behaviors, because now it makes sense. Yeah. The moment it makes sense, that wire is nipped and it's cut. And now, you won't react to the same trigger, which was happening yesterday.
And so if we accept this premise as true, it doesn't matter how much medicine you take or how many prescriptions you go and get filled. If you're not dealing with the root of the issue, you're just treating the symptoms and not the cause.
Totally. And again, that's why this type of therapy is for people who say, I am literally fed up of taking medications. That's what I was seeing as a physician, that these people would say, I'm just done taking medications, because all of us know when we keep on increasing the dose, at one point now the side effects of medication start in. Mm-hmm. And, now I have to give more medicine to control the side effect of the medicine. So that circuit never stops, because as a physician, on the other side, when I did not have these tools, I was feeling helpless in my own way. What else can I do? But since I got this understanding, since I got this magnificent, modality, I've talked to these patients where medications are not doing what they are supposed to do. So what exactly comes in the end as the result is the dependency on medication is reduced. It is reduced to a very comfortable, very light, way where I'm not having the struggle to take 10 pills every day. Perhaps my requirement is actually 3 pills, because I have worked on those neuropathways which were bleeping in the negative energy consistently in my body.
Yeah, very fascinating. Now, you have validated these results through case studies. You've probably helped hundreds. That's way more than hundreds. You've helped thousands of clients all over the world. Is there one case that stands out in your mind? And maybe it's one that you talked about in your book, but what is a great example of this that stands out in your mind out of all the people that you have seen?
A good question. And I would say, yes, the first case I speak of in my book is that one case where, again, when I dealt with that case and I saw the results, I just felt as a physician that no way I could have cracked it as a doctor. There was no way. And that first case is, the title is The Body Always Talks. So this person came to me with migraine headaches, more than 7 years of consistently having migraine headaches of 8 out of 10, sometimes 10 out of 10, excruciating. So there was no time where he was headache free. And obviously all medical investigations were done. There was no tumor. There was nothing sinister going on in the body creating this headache. He had done whatever medical doctor would have prescribed. Medications at certain levels started to react and his body would not accept medications. So obviously in depression that nothing can happen. And he was in military, discharged from military because of these excruciating headaches. And a young chap, very young chap who was just starting his life. And then he heard about me and he came to me with this, that I'm just fed up. I don't know why I have these headaches and no one is able to help me. I mean, medicine is definitely not able to help me. And that subconscious dip. So we started the session when he was obviously having that 8 out of 10 pain score headache. And we go into the subconscious, and what surfaced in the subconscious was so fascinating, as you correctly said, that many times there are things which happen to us, we push it and we just suppress it. And what he realized was that there was a time where he was sexually molested repeatedly by a close relative. And those emotions which he had kept inside of him, which he had not shared with anyone, that is what surfaced in the subconscious. And as we dealt with those emotions and we came out of the session, which was just 90 minutes, he came out with a huge smile on his face and he said, I have never felt like this in 7 years of my life. Right now, my pain score is 2 out of 10. It was magical, Ralph. And I, again, a part of me who is the doctor is like completely like, my goodness, but that was what happened in front of me. And that is my first case in the book that, it can be dealt with. Things can be dealt with because there is a reason of this dis-ease and only you know the reason. So once again, I'm going to guide you to that zone where you have perhaps not dealt with a part of your own life's journey. You find your own closure in your own way. And when you come out, the ease is so palpable. The body is literally dancing with joy that finally you close that chapter.
I'm speaking with Dr. Sonia Gupte. She is the author of the best-selling book Within, Finding Yourself, Fixing What's Broken, and Finally Reclaiming True Health. Dr. Gupte, in the book, you talk about an exciting new vision for revolutionizing medicine with clinical hypnotherapy. Describe that vision for our listeners. What would you like to see happen?
So I painted that vision in the last chapter of the book. And, having entered into this modality and having found literally that purpose as a physician, as a person who really cares about people and sensing the burden, the global burden of chronic ailments, the vision which I have is that the part which is missing from mainstream medicine is understanding and dealing with the emotions of a human being. We are somewhere taught and we are somewhere consistently directed towards focusing on the physical body. We are not taught how to deal with emotions. We are not taught that each and every word you are saying is having an impact on the patient. And all those realizations came to me when I entered into this particular modality. And the vision I have is to integrate that component of being human into mainstream medicine by not only understanding emotions of a patient, but helping them to find that closure, which is literally in matter of minutes. We can do that if we know what words we have to use. When a patient comes to us in pain, the patient is literally in trance. Each and every word you are saying is creating an impact. You can make a person feel better just by knowing what to say. But we are not taught this in medical school. We just are not taught this. We are supposed to literally suck up our own tears. Never cry in front of your patient. Do not show your vulnerability. But you have to show vulnerability to showcase that human aspect. There is nothing wrong. It's not weak to showcase that human vulnerability and to understand it. And that is the component which I want to bring into the mainstream medicine by healing, by understanding a patient not as a disease label, but by seeing the patient as mind, body, and spirit, which is, I feel, is missing right now from the medical field. We are not doing that. And that can be achieved through this modality of hypnotherapy.
Very, very compelling and exciting. You've also started a nonprofit organization to make this vision a reality. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that's a really a very exciting, step in my journey, which has come up and it is, flowing so effortlessly. The nonprofit organization is called Mind Medicine Movement, and there are three big radius, I would say, what this nonprofit is connected to. One is whatever I have written in the book. I want to create a medical facility where I showcase everything what I have written. So when I say I showcase, that how we can combine that human aspect, how we can combine dealing with emotions along with conscious prescription writing. I am not against medicine, but I see that it has become unconscious. because we doctors don't know what else we can do, we keep on increasing the dose. I want prescription writing to go conscious. You do what is to be done, and there is a team next to you who is going to work on the subconscious. So the requirement of medication does not need to be increased. So all of this is going to be practiced in this medical facility where we are working on the mind alongside working on the body. So that is one radius which this nonprofit is going to focus towards, to create a facility like this, because right now there is no such facility. I see so many alternative healings in so many hospitals, like, there is acupuncture, there is Tai Chi, there is Qigong, there are so many things. I have not heard a single place in United States where hypnotherapy is practiced as a, legitimate modality to bring that alternative healing. So in this particular facility, the medical facility I have envisioned, there is a department of hypnotherapy where we are dealing with the emotions, where we are dealing with the subconscious mind to bring the ease to the body, alongside doctors, alongside naturopaths, alongside a team where, we are seeing and healing the chronic ailments with a completely holistic way. And the second part of this nonprofit, which it will be focusing on, is to bring more and more evidence-based by doing research in this modality, with different chronic ailments. And I'm really excited to share with you that first big opportunity has come our way already. We are entering into a clinical trial with cancer patients to see if hypnotherapy and working on the subconscious mind can reduce chemotherapy side effects.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
And that will change the game completely, Ralph, because there is nothing right now to divert the chemotherapy side effects. There is nothing at all. So why don't we use the power of mind and divert it and see if the body can feel the ease? So I'm really excited about this clinical trial and many such clinical trials to bring the evidence-based proof that this is how it works, and we can make it happen for thousands and millions of people out there. And of course, the third radius is to sponsor individuals who are passionate about this work, about helping others, and perhaps are not financially able to, and offer them scholarships. So I want to train as many people as possible to understand the power of mind, to, get a grip on their lives, and then help others. And, like a chain reaction, you understand, and now you pass it on to the others. So this is what the vision has been, to create the nonprofit. And I'm really excited and looking forward to how it is going to move ahead and, the energy it brings.
It sounds really, really compelling. And I'm going to be keeping an eye on you and on your nonprofit organization, because that sounds really intriguing. And if we have a modality that works, why not try it? Let's see what happens. We can hardly do any worse damage than has already been done. Let's see what we can do to help people and to educate doctors about these modalities, and at least use all the tools that are at our disposal to help improve people's lives. I am 100% supportive of you in that, and I appreciate you coming on the show and sharing your book and your vision. There may be someone listening right now that this message resonates with them, and they're struggling, and maybe they are fed up with their pursuit of healing, but something in this conversation has triggered them in a positive way to say, maybe this is it. Maybe this is the reason why I can't seem to get my dis-ease under control. How can they reach out to you? What do you suggest they do as a next best step?
I would say being aware is the first step to fixing what you want to fix. So the next time your body gives you a signal. The next time you perhaps have a headache out of the blue, or perhaps your back is hurting out of the blue, and something is happening, something has disturbed the body. Instead of reaching out for Tylenol, I just want you to close your eyes and literally sense as if you're talking to the body. Just sense, focus on that pain, acknowledge that pain, and trust me, the reason why the body is having that dis-ease in the moment, that memory, that person, that focus will be absolutely right in front of you. The moment you acknowledge it, the body will start to go into a state of ease. The more we try to run away from an issue, the more stronger the signal is in the body. The moment we acknowledge it, the body starts to go into the state of ease. And that works out like, 10 out of 10. So my suggestion to whoever is listening and, something really has clicked in the right way is first, just be aware and be more present to the signals the body gives. And if there has been something which has been chronic, I want to say that there is hope. There is hope that things can be better and the answers are within you. All you need is the courage to find and to go inside, and the solutions are right there.
Wonderful, wonderful. I know people listening will probably want to reach out to you. What's the best way that they can find you on the internet?
So my website is www.enso-nia, that is ENSO-NIA.com. And please reach out to me from the website. There is a lot about my work, about my story, what I do, and write into me. I would love to get in touch with whoever is feeling that it's time to find their answers.
Excellent, excellent. I've been speaking with Dr. Sonia Gupte. She is an internationally known Board Certified Clinical Hypnotherapist and hypnotherapy trainer with clients in over 20 countries. She's the founder and director of Enso-nia Center for Mind and Life Transformation, an organization dedicated to revolutionizing the field of human wellness through the integration of hypnotherapy into mainstream healthcare. We'll have the website address on our website so that you can click through. It's Enso-nia.com. It's ENSO-NIA.com. And Dr. Gupte, thank you so much for sharing your time and your vision with us today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much once again, Ralph. It was absolutely fantastic being on the show. Thank you for the opportunity.
You've been listening to Rebelpreneur Radio with Ralph Brogden. Download the show notes and much more at rebelpreneur.com.